Hi there, Capricorns. This is Carrie at wooingnature.life. I hope you all are doing well today. This is your reading for September. September is Virgo time, so everybody has to reach deep inside to find their Virgo side of themselves if you're not a Virgo. And the energy that's out in the cosmos right now is definitely leading you toward Virgo land. We've got Sun in Virgo, we got Mercury in Virgo, we got Venus in Virgo. So your love life, your communication, and just the general nature of what you need to be doing right now is Virgo oriented. So what's Virgo oriented? It's about organizing. It's about restructuring. It's about making an assessment and putting your ducks in a row and restructuring how you're going to move going forward. Okay, so I know Capricorn, you guys understand that. Virgos are your sister partners in the world of work, in the earthly world. And so I know you understand what that's all about. So just draw from that Virgo side of yourself and do your Capricorn thing, and you should be in good shape. So this reading is for you for September. Take care of your business. Get stuff done as you do. Don't neglect yourself. Capricorns, don't neglect yourself. All right. And we're going to see what's going on. I am reading from James R. Eads, Light Visions Tarot today. And for the month of September for everybody. Using the same cards for everybody. That way it's fair. Right. All right, so I'm doing a little final shuffle, and we'll jump right in. All right, so we got the Hierophant coming in. Hierophant first. I'm just doing a straight reading, so straight read means I just keep pulling until it's time to stop. There we go. All right, so we got the Hierophant, we got the Knight of Chalices. Looks like there's some love coming through or some kind of relationship things coming through, so we'll talk about that. We got some heartbreak going on, and not just heartbreak, but somebody really tried to crush your spirit or something. You felt like that wasn't right, wasn't fair. I'm gonna keep going. We got the Justice in reverse, Eight of Wands, and the Moon. And the Ace of Swords. All right, I'm going to stop right there. It doesn't mean we're going to stop, period, but we're going to stop right there. All right, so the first card up is the Hierophant. The Hierophant is about lessons, learning lessons, but higher spiritual lessons. These are definitely gifts of the spirit that are coming through in lessons for you. And they want you to receive these lessons so that you can connect to your inner star seed. Okay? Your inner star seed. And how do you get to your inner star seed? You get to your inner star seed through your intuition, okay? That's where the key is. There's something you've been looking for a key. There's something you've been looking for, and you're like, what is the answer? What is the answer? How do I get to this? And you've been struggling trying to get to it, but the key is inside of you. The key to the door that you're trying to unlock is inside of you, and that's what they're trying to relay to you. They meaning God, angels, in this assembly. I have people say, you always talk about they. Who is they? God, angels, and his assembly. Okay? Ancestors, spirit guides, whoever it is that's around you who is spiritual on the other side, that is spiritually guiding you towards your inner truth. Could be physical people too, depending on if you're in the right circles. All right, so we got the Knight of Chalices here. I've got that, there's somebody coming in, or they're trying to show you a measure of love that may be connected to this higher spiritual message and this key too. We just got to get to that. I'm definitely getting it here. Three of Swords usually represents heartbreak, but in this case, I'm getting that somebody really tried to take your deer spirit from you. Deer spirit, the deer is a totem for being gentle, being humble. I'm not going to say docile, but just gentle, meek, humble, but also very perceptive, very sharp, a good listener, and able to move with agility and to move swiftly and quickly. So all of those qualities in you, Capricorn, it was like something or somebody or some situation was trying to actually take that from you. Woo. Okay. Page of Pentacles. There's a message here about the earth, something in the earthly plane. Could be health, could be money, could be physical things, home, anything that is has to do with you being able to be comfortable on planet Earth, right? Whenever I talk about earth-based things or the suit of earth or the suit of pentacles, I always think of it as like anything when you transition to the other side, when you're dead and gone, these aspects of yourself will no longer be necessary. Okay, so having clothes on your back and worrying about going to the doctor and making sure you got enough money in the bank account, all of that kind of stuff is pentacle stuff. But there's a message coming through about that. We got the Justice in reverse. Justice in reverse, we'll come back to that. We got Eight of Wands, which means some prayers have gone forward and you're waiting for the answers to come, but the answers are coming, and the answers are coming in boatloads and in boatloads. But we got the Moon here, so there's some shadow aspecting happening, and I want to definitely get into that with you. And then we got the Ace of Swords, which is always to me about the truth and nothing but the truth, so help you God. Okay, so we're talking about truth. We're talking about coming to a truth. I feel like these are going together because there's no higher spiritual message than the truth. Okay? So wherever the truth exists, that's where you need to be, Capricorn. Okay? The first truth is to look at this right here. You've got to look at how you ended up in this situation and what you did to make yourself prey to people who were trying to take your gentleness, your kindness, your sensitivity, your ability to sense and feel. You got to think about where that came from, why that existed, and why it happened, and what happened with you that left you open for this kind of attack. Okay? When we feel like we've been attacked, then we want to put the blame on somebody else. Like, you know, oh, I feel like this person had it out for me, or this person did this to me and did that to me and did the other to me. And so you have a tendency not to go in and say, okay, well, how did I open myself up to become a victim for this kind of attack, this specific kind of attack, and it's a specific type of attack. So the prayers are going out and things are coming back for you. I want to talk about that later because I think that has to do with the work that you've been involved in. But I definitely want to deal with this moon energy because it's like you're trying to go somewhere, but it's, you know, you're trying to get somewhere, but you can't get to where you're trying to get to, and you're trying to figure out why you can't get there. Okay? It has to do with this. It has to do with coming to certain truths. Higher truths about yourself, who you are, what you come with, and how you've been dealing. And this, for sure. It seems like things are not fair to you. We got the Justice in reverse. It feels like, you know, like what's happening doesn't seem fair. It is. There is justice here. You just have to see where the justice exists. The thing that was attacking you, you had the power to chop the head off. You had an opportunity to chop the head off. That's what I'm getting. It was in your hands. So this right here, if you felt like, you know, dang, you know, like somebody tried to take my energy and take my inner power and take my this and take my that and take my the other, but it was really in your hands all along. You had the ability to end that at any moment, and it looks like you may have already done that at this point, but you have to still reconcile that. See, that's what that Virgo organization, internal organization is about, because it doesn't do any good for you to organize the outside life, your closets and your, you know, inside of your car and you know, your bills and stuff like that if you're not going to organize the inside too. And this is about organizing the inside. That's what this is. That's what this is. This is about an assessment of the inside, of the internal. You know, what is it that you need to know? What is the higher spiritual lesson associated with predators and prey? You being the victim versus you being the person who allowed the predator to come in and take. Because see, if you let the thief come in the door, if you open the door for the thief and the thief comes in and steals your stuff, then it's not breaking and entering. It's not a crime, right? Because you allowed it. Just hard truth. It's a hard truth. And I think you need to deal with that. I think that's the shadow aspect. That's the other aspect. Why did you let that happen? How did you let that happen? And it's not about beating yourself up. Let me be clear about that. It's not like taking the victim, because that's what you feel like. That's why you feel like there's no justice. That's why you feel like this is not fair. Because it's like why blame the victim? Well, because there really is no victim here, really. There is no victim. It's not victimization. It may be ignorance in the truest sense of the word, meaning that you didn't know any better. It could be that you were vulnerable, or it could be that you were in a weakened state. It could be that your energy was not, that you weren't vibrating at the highest frequency that you could at the time, and anything could have caused that. Trauma causes that. Hardship causes that. Losing faith in yourself causes that. It's all kinds of things that make you vulnerable to attack. Okay? So it's a difference in somebody coming in, snatching you up out of your bed, and you know, laying in the bed with the enemy. I'm just saying, just saying. So we got this Knight of Chalices here still looming in the distance. This moon is definitely about this whole victimization thing that's going on, Capricorn. And then, and so we got love coming in the midst of all of this. Oh, Lord. We got to get this together, Capricorn. Okay. So, right now it looks like you're focusing more or less on the physical. You might be focusing on work. You might be focusing a lot on money, your finances. How are things going? You want to make sure that you got what you need. You look like you're focusing on that, but that's not really what you need to be focusing on. Two of Swords here is next. Two of Swords is about making decisions, having to make a decision. Your decision that you're making is really based on this right here, this new truth that you just learned today. That because you've been feeling like a victim doesn't mean you're a victim. It means you made yourself vulnerable to attack. So right now, I would hold off on the decision making until you really absorb that information. I wouldn't do anything. I wouldn't make a decision about this person coming in. I wouldn't make any decisions about my finances either until you really absorb this lesson right here, because this is your major arcana lesson. We got 3 major arcana cards associated with the same lesson. Justice, the Moon, and the Hierophant. Now you know. Ooh, Lord. Yes. Yes, justice. I mean, I feel like that's a story. I feel like I could write a book about that. Justice, the Moon, and the Hierophant. Yeah. So you got to look at the shadow. You got to look at where that's coming from. You got to look at what the higher spiritual teaching is about this. About victims. I don't know. It just keeps bringing me back to it. I hate to keep repeating it, but I would say don't make any decisions until you figure that out. I definitely see that things are coming through for you. I definitely see that you've been praying for change. You've been praying actually specifically for abundance, which is why I think you've got your focus here on this. But right now, before you bring that in, you want to get rid of this, because I'm going to tell you what, when abundance comes, it comes with everything. Right? And so your unresolved issues, the things that are yet unresolved, this stuff, that unresolved stuff, it will come with it. You'll have a whole bunch of unresolved issues and a whole bunch of people coming into your life with that same unresolved stuff. And then you'll feel overwhelmed by that abundance. Abundance is abundance. You can have an abundance of a whole lot of things. People asking for abundance, and then you turn around and they got their lives all jacked up, you know. It's all jacked up. You got all kinds of gitchy goomies looming in the background, and you know what? Those will come with it. It'll come right in with it, with the good stuff. It'll come in, you know. Everything in life is bitter and sweet. It's the good and the bad that comes with it. So you want to try to eliminate as much of the BS as you possibly can. So Queen of Swords was over here to the side. I didn't even see her come out, but I know why she's here. She's here so that you can really get a handle on the situation, right? The Queen of Swords is discerning. She's discerning. She's discriminating. And she also won't let the wool be pulled over her eyes. And then look what she's doing here. She's got this big bird, and she's got this, you know, she's got him muzzled. She's got him muzzled. So I don't know if this, wherever this like feeling of victimization was coming from the outside, it's like she's got that stuff under control. She's muzzling it. I feel like maybe this may have come through some verbal, you know, the attack may have been verbal. The attacks that you've been feeling may have been verbal. Maybe somebody, you know, making you feel less than the wonderful, fabulous, innovative, creative, you know, handle your business person that you are. And this is some Capricorn energy too. Okay? Capricorns know how to handle their stuff. They know how to handle your business. So whoever it is or whatever it is that got you off your game, it's time to put a muzzle on that. No more of that. Why? Because you have gone in and faced the truth of what you allowed to take place in your life. And this is you saying no to the BS. Boundaries, setting boundaries. That's a real high spiritual lesson, because I'm going to tell you, you know, people think, well, I need to be around people with a higher frequency, and I need to get in with a higher, you know, my higher self or whatever. Let me tell you something. Everywhere you go, you will find the same things, just to a higher degree, if you have not resolved it at the very base level. So dealing with that, dealing with what we're talking about right now, dealing with that inner truth that, you know, that you have not set proper boundaries for yourself, that you didn't lay the law down the first time somebody says something off kilter to you, or the last time somebody says something to you that was off. If you didn't set them straight, if you didn't let them know, hey, you can't talk to me that way, then you just allowed that person to come in and take a jab at you. And people will take a jab and a stab at you. You think they won't? They will. They will. They're going to try you. That's what people do. They try you. So when they try you, you got to say, no, this isn't a trial. I'm not judge, jury, or nothing. And I'm not on trial. So you're not getting ready to do that. So you got to put people in their place. All right, I got Two of Cups in the Tower in reverse. So that means this is relationship related. This is definitely relationship related. So somebody that you've been in relationship with, somebody that you were with, they came to you with this stuff, and it threw everything off. And then that tower, you had that tower experience. This tower experience led to all of what we've been talking about so far. And so now you're left having to deal with this. And so I'm getting right here that, like I said, you're focusing on your physical, you're focusing on, you know, getting your money right and all that other kind of stuff. But there's a relationship that needs to come in too. There's a balance here. This reminds me of work-life balance. You got to have, you know, good, your emotional life and your physical life have to work in synchronicity, and that's real. That's very real and very valid, and you probably need both of these in your life. You probably need your physical life to be in order, and you also need your relationship or your love life to be in order. That's why this romance is coming in, it seems. But the thing of it is you got to be ready for it, and it needs to be a mature thing. Queen of Swords is not going to fool with no immature love thing, if that's what that is. And you got to make sure that you're clear about those boundaries before you make any decision about anybody moving forward in your life. All right, is there anything else for Capricorn? Anything else that Capricorn needs to know for the month of September? All right, so the month of September, we're talking about organization and management and restructuring. Restructure that idea in your head that you were victimized. That's the first order of business for you, Capricorn. Get that victim mindset out of your head. It is going to stunt your growth. It is going to stunt your growth because you're going to walk forward as a victim, and everybody is going to treat you like a victim. And if you haven't learned the lessons that you're supposed to learn from this, which is to set your boundaries and let people know what you're working with and what they working with, and let them know that you ain't playing with them, not none, and muzzle that stuff. If you don't do that, then I don't know, you're going to end up with a whole bunch of, you're going to end up with a whole lot of people and situations to manage, and then you're going to end up coming off like the mean you know what, because you're all of a sudden going to have to say stop. So we don't want it to, we don't want you to, get the reputation of being that B. You feel what I'm saying? I don't want you to end up having that reputation, but like, that's what ends up happening if you don't nip it in the bud from the very beginning. So nip it in the bud from the very beginning. All right, Capricorn, this is the last thing. I'm going to get a Sacred Rebel card for you all. You need that Sacred Rebel energy. I feel it. Get that Sacred Rebel for you. And we'll close out with that. Okay? Wow. You know what I'm saying? It's always the little things. Faith in the process. Wow. That image is really, really compelling to me. You're in your little red wagon, totally exposed right now. The exposure comes from the truth, knowing what your contribution was and owning it, accepting it, being in prayer, waiting, because there's something else coming. It's a powerful image. All right, 32, which breaks down to a 5. 5 is the number of change for those of you who are numerologically inclined. So 32, that's a 3 and a 2. So you start with creativity and then you come back to the duality and then you make the change. Okay? Knowing your creative self, understanding the duality, that's that shadow side, and then the change. So this is a perfect card. Faith in the process, I'm going to read. No matter how powerful we are, how much courage and strength we have, there are times when we can't quite move ourselves along to the next phase of life or creative exploration. At such times, we need some divine intervention, a little help in pulling our trolley along, so to speak. When we are at the edge of our own limits and have no more personal resources, we might be left only with one spiritual power, that of faith. That sounds so Capricorn, because y'all work it. Y'all will try to do everything yourself and not get any help from anybody. That's the way you'd rather have it. But fortunately, that's all you need is your faith. As unlikely as it may seem, the invisible help from the universe is often more powerful than the physical efforts of 1,000 men. That is because the invisible help is not limited by physical laws. Ain't that a blessing? It can shift, bend, and move in ways that defy limitation. It can effect, evoke, and influence situations through invisible but undeniably persuasive means. See, you don't know what God has in store. You don't know what he has. You know what I'm saying? You've been trying to do this all yourself, Capricorn. But right now, all you need to do is release to spirit and let spirit carry you the rest of the way. So you in this little red wagon feeling like I ain't got nothing left. But you don't know who's on the other side pulling the wagon. That's God. Shoot. You are in a situation where you cannot set right the course of events all by yourself. This is not an indication that you have done something wrong, nor does this suggest that you are not strong enough. That's so important, because I don't want you to walk away from this reading thinking, oh, I've been blaming other people, but like, yeah, you got to deal with that too. But I don't want you to think that everybody is blameless. Like, everybody has their contribution. And when you're talking about a relationship, guess what? It takes two to tango. So if you were readily giving up your boundaries, then the other person was readily walking through them too. So whatever, it goes both ways. It is a sign that there is something bigger unfolding in your life, and your willpower will be supplemented by the power of life itself. That's so great. Sometimes a bigger plan needs to manifest for the benefit of humanity and the earth. You need to shift your perspective to realize that you are a part of the greater unfoldment of life, that your individual life serves the greater plan of that you are not, and that you are not separate from its genius. This is what's happening now. You happen to be an instrument to the greater plan, and as such, you need to accept your position and be moved, while also being empowered and protected as you make personal progress through your role in that grander scheme. This is a time for humility and trust. And I'm going to stop right there in that reading. Very, very powerful. Very, very powerful. Okay. So Capricorns, this is great. I'm glad that we got through to something for you today. I hope that this represents a breakthrough for you. It feels like a breakthrough for you, and I hope you will benefit from that and take it and move it forward. Take it for what it is. Forgive yourself, forgive the other, and keep it moving. There's blessings coming your way. You prayed for them, and they're showing up for you. So I want you to be able to really, really enjoy every minute of it without guilt, without worry, without concern about who you're leaving behind or what you're leaving behind, because what you're leaving behind is what needs to be left. Okay? All right, if you all need to reach out to me, you can reach out to me at Kerri, Kerri, at wooingnature.life. You know I'm there. You can also reach out to me at wooingnature.life, the website. I'm also on Facebook, Instagram, Tumblr, and Twitter, and Patreon. So if you want to check into one of those channels on Patreon, become a subscriber. There's different tiers there. Whatever it is that you need to help you move forward, we try to put things where you can get to them. And as always, I hope you have a wonderful day, and I hope you're having a wonderful life.